Oh, all my crypto nerd friends, guess what? I've got my coffee mug here. You can't see it. It's out of focus. Oh, it says eat, sleep, Algorand, repeat. And today we're going to use my movie trailer voice. I don't know if I have a movie trailer voice, but I'm going to try it. In a land where crypto returns are underperforming, one company strives to make internet, Algorand, and crypto fun again. That company is Upside Finance. How'd I do? I know? Oh, all right. All right, guys. How did my movie introduction voice work out?
It was
Good.
spectacular.
I'm working on it. All right, I'm working on it. It's like a good crypto project. It's just not done yet. So we'll see what's going on. Welcome, guys.
Looking
So for those of you in the audience who are not familiar with Upside Finance, I'm hoping that maybe we can go around the room here and kind of give a quick introduction, who you are, and then we'll return and we'll talk about the project. Nishant, you want to start?
Awesome. Yeah. So Tejas and I have been working together for over 3 years on different projects. And a couple of years back, we decided to venture into the blockchain space. And our first Algorand hackathon was with Encode. So this was like Encode Club plus Algorand hackathon.
Mm-hmm.
We did this Sigbo game, which is like a Chinese, I guess, casino kind of like you throw the dice and then you bet on the outcome of the dice. And after that, we got into the accelerator program, which we were pretty excited about. So we did one Encode accelerator. And since then, it's just been us working on Upside Finance. So
I
you have,
didn't
you have been
realize what your
working.
first project was. That's cool.
Yeah. It's like it's got so it's a pretty simple game, right? Like you just select the, I guess, outcome
Mm-hmm.
of the dice roll, and then you get you win stuff. And then we had like functional NFTs, which we are trying to incorporate into Upside Finance as well. So let's see how that goes.
I
Oops.
like I like that we get to like occasionally just have fun in crypto. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
sometimes it's so serious, and there's serious money involved. But sometimes, like, man, I just want to have some fun. I just want to have some lighthearted, like, apps to interact with, and cool memes, and maybe some cool NFTs. We could talk about some of those, maybe.
yeah.
And we want to have a little bit of adventure in our crypto markets, and not the bad kind. Like I don't want to bet it all on unverified ASAs. I would rather deal with a company that is verified and upstanding, and kind of protects my interests. So I appreciate that. All right. So next, tell us a little bit about yourself, and I don't know if you got a better. I mean, he already kind of spilled the beans on like when you guys started working together. Maybe you got some other kind of behind the scenes story for us.
Um, hmm, well, I don't know actually. Um, there's no
well,
behind the scenes stuff.
we can probably introduce like our what Upside Finance is, and
Yeah,
our two token model, which is kind of unique in Algorand.
I would say so. All right, who wants to take the con on that? Who wants to talk to us about Upside Finance? First, give us like the overall view of the site, what it does, what it is, in case people aren't familiar with it. They're probably familiar with the concept if they've been around the ecosystem for a little while, and then we'll talk about the two tokens.
Yeah.
Sure.
Uh, so Tejas, do you want to go with the tokens? I'll go with the concept of it.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
Upside Finance was inspired by well, pooled together on Ethereum. We saw that there's good prize money, and then there's no downside to it. So we were like, let's try to get this on Algorand. There wasn't much stuff going on in terms of lossless lotteries. Like YLDY had done something similar, but then they stopped
Mm-hmm.
doing that once there were no governance rewards, I think, or like not governance rewards. Sorry, those regular Algorand rewards just for holding them.
Yep.
Um, and we saw that AlgoFi and Folks Finance were coming out with their own APIs. So it was kind of like an easy decision for us to just have that kind of a product in the Algorand space. Um, and then that's how we started out with Upside Finance, getting a lossless product to the space and making sure that people don't lose money while they are interacting with DeFi, because that often is the case.
Yeah, nobody likes losing money. That's why I like this idea so much, because I'm not going to lose anything doing it, right? The amount of crypto I started with is the same amount that I'm going to end with, and if I get lucky, I might end up with a lot more.
To add on to that, because the reason we were inspired to build the lossless lottery, well, partly it was because of Pool Together on Ethereum, but we also saw that, typically crypto enthusiasts, they kind of engage in high risk forms of investment. So, buying tokens of undoxed projects, or
Yeah,
projects, you buy tokens of projects you don't really understand. We saw that recently with, some of the previous projects on Algorand. They either like day trade, or
yeah.
they do yield farming, which tend to be much more higher risk. Um, and
NFT
so upside
flippers.
finance, yeah, NFT flippers, you never
Yeah,
know how much you're gonna make, right? So
yeah.
upside finance was kind of an alternative form of investment, almost, where you deposit your money and you just basically, you don't have to put any thoughts into it. You'll 100% get your money back, no matter what happens.
All right.
Yeah.
So which crypto am I putting on the platform? What are we starting out with?
So
Algo.
uh,
Sorry.
Algo,
no,
right?
it's ALGOs
No.
and USDC.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. So what's the rate of return that we are pooling? Like 4% or something? What are we talking about?
So I think right
Roughly, what
now
is it
it's
right
like,
now?
I think it's 3 to 4% right
3 to
now.
4%. Okay.
Yeah,
So we
AlgoFi.
so we've got some stable coin, some rate of return that is regulated, or not regulated, but kind of stable, we'll say, right? So we've got a consistent rate of return. And how long is the staking period going to last? And it's okay if you don't have like a firm number. I'm just curious, like about how long am I gonna dedicate some funds to the site?
So we're thinking, or we haven't completely decided it yet, but we're thinking around 1 week.
Okay.
Because if you only stake for 1 day, the rewards are just not as attractive as
Yeah, it's not
you're
it's not
staking for
sexy
one
enough,
week.
right? The old
Yeah,
YLDY
just
one was for a week, I think, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we might be reducing that in the future, but yeah, you just have to wait and see, I guess.
Okay. All right. We'll wait and see. Now, this is the kind of thing where the more people that, participate, the bigger the rewards get. And it can get
Yeah.
pretty sizable. I remember some of those old YLDY, awards, being kind of eye-opening. At the end, I think they started playing around with some of the format, and I'm curious, are you going to change the format from anything that YLDY had? Do you have anything else kind of up your sleeve to make it a little more, unique, I guess, for you guys?
Yeah. Sorry, Tejas. I thought you were gonna say
No, no,
something.
no. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So actually, this was just a conversation Tejas and I had last night. We are planning some stuff that well, we want to make this like a unique platform, right? We don't want to make it like a replica of, for example,
Anybody
Pool
else?
Together. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Basically, so we have thought of some cool stuff that would come on the beta testnet beta product soon. So you
Hmm.
just have to, again, you just have to wait and see. In the next couple of weeks, we'll have some stuff.
Okay.
I think we
So,
can disclose one thing.
okay, please. Yeah, give us
One
something.
thing. So I guess this is not, well, it is pretty unique. I think we're the only ones doing this, but we'll allow, your favorite projects to come onto our platform and launch their own lossless lotteries. So,
Ah,
for example, you could have the KryptoNurd community come to our platforms and use their nerd tokens to win in the lottery and receive their
excellent.
prize in nerd as well. So
Okay.
that's something unique that other projects weren't doing. That's the one detail we can disclose right now.
I,
Yeah.
I, I like that's a very cool feature. That's a bonus. All right. Now, you teased just a little bit that there was a 2-token system, and that is definitely different than anything that we've seen before. A couple of companies have tried some things similar to this, and not the same application that you're talking about. But walk us through this and tell us why should there be 2 tokens?
So the reason we went with 2 tokens is kind of we wanted to separate out the governance token with another token that we can use as a rewards mechanism for our users. So the first token, rewards token, that we give out to our early supporters, people who promote us on social media, who are early backers, and basically what that allows them to do is get better winning odds in the lossless lottery. And kind of is just an incentive. It's like a sweetener basically for them to continue supporting the project. We just want to show our appreciation to them.
Okay.
So that's the first kind. The second kind of token is the actual governance token, which we're still in the works of designing the mechanics of it, but it's definitely going to have some sort of decentralized governance aspect to it. Users will be able to vote on how long the lottery lasts, for example, or which tokens we're going to accept. They might be able to have control over the treasury as well,
Okay.
things like that. Yeah.
So
So
can they vote? You said treasury, so maybe they can say, okay, we want to release some more of the Upside Finance booster tokens or something like that. Now, these boosters, people are going to hear about that and they're going to be like, oh, is this a pay to win type of a scenario? So walk us through that and why that's not the case.
yeah, we don't plan to monetize that at all. It's just a way for us to show our appreciation to our community. We won't even add it to, we won't list it anywhere. It's just to support our early backers. Yeah, that's about it.
All right.
Sean, do you have anything to add?
We would be giving out. So as we have said this before on some of our articles, like we plan on releasing some NFTs, and we would be giving out the RUFT, like the rewards tokens, to people holding those NFTs, and then we also planning on other ways to reward the community, not just when they post memes and such. So
Got it. Oh, we are going to post memes though. But
yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
So this boosters RUFT Ruft
Yep.
Ruft. Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
So once I use it to boost my odds, I guess, do I get to reuse it? Is it recycled? How do I get more of them? Or will I have the opportunity to get any more? Or is it if I own the NFTs? It's like I get some steady rewards for holding them. How do I get more of them?
So if you purchase the NFTs, you get like basically a regular supply of RUFTs over a 2 to 3 year period.
Airdrop, basically.
Basically airdrop, yeah.
Okay.
On the other hand, if you are like our early supporter, early backer, we basically give them out to you also via airdrop, but that's more random, I guess.
Okay.
Basically when the governors maybe vote for a release of RUFTs, we'll airdrop them to you. And you can use them basically anytime that you like in any lossless lottery. But once you do use them, they are burnt. So they're one-time use basically.
Got it. Okay. So if it gets to be a really big, pot or something along those lines, maybe some other folks who might have been hoarding those things will come out and start to use them. But is it really going to slant too much? I mean, how much of a booster are we talking about? Like percentage wise, do you have an idea of what we're talking about?
Yeah, so it's a bit of a double-edged sword, right? We don't want to promote people to be hoarders,
Right.
like to just accumulate those RUFTs and then release them in the largest lottery that
Yeah.
we come out with, and then they have a disproportionate chance of winning. So basically we'll set some limits in the lottery as well as to what percentage increase do you get in the winning odds by holding RUFTs. But typically what we decided right now is that one RUFT equals to one more lottery ticket.
Okay, got
So
it.
it's depositing one more USDC for ALGO.
Okay, so it's not a huge benefit, but it is a little bit of an extra freebie. Okay.
Yeah.
Now you mentioned NFTs. Can you talk to us about how many of these NFTs are coming out? What's the we see the mascot sort of on the website. Gil, I think is her name, right? Gil is female.
Yeah.
Does Gil got a full name? Is she like Gilomina or Gildebreath or like what? Is it just Gil?
So
Or is it
short.
Jill? Is it a soft G? And I've been mispronouncing it this whole time.
It's Gil because it's short for Gileri. It's a Hindi word for squirrel.
Ah, okay. All right, it's
Yeah.
making sense now. It's all coming together.
Yeah.
All right.
And
I feel like squirrels are lucky animals too.
yeah, they like to hoard stuff. Like they like to save stuff rather. They
Yeah.
like to save nuts.
Okay.
We're talking about tokens here, but yeah.
Yeah. All right.
And yeah, so we'll be minting like about 10K of these, so 10K unique ones. And many of these would be released after some partnerships with other projects because we have some partnerships coming up. And yeah.
Everybody loves partnerships and collaborations, man.
Yeah.
Like that's something special about the Algorand community too. You see it a little bit in other communities. I dabble in a little bit of some of the other communities, but you don't see it to the extent that we do. And it's almost like as Algorand builders, we have like a little chip on our shoulder that's like it's us versus them. And it's very much like I'm going to help you, you help me. Like it's us versus them versus us fighting amongst each other. There's very little of that. Every once in a while, there's a little bit of animosity, a little back and forth, but not a lot. Whereas other blockchains, like projects on that same blockchain, are just trying to tear each other down, man. Here, it's kind of a different story. We all go to all the events together. Everybody joins Twitter Spaces and and has collaborations through NFTs. I think it's cool. So you've got some collaborations coming, and you've already said other ASAs are going to get voted on essentially to have what amounts to like some very unique staking pools with selective gamified rewards really on the site there. And I think that's really interesting. So the NFTs are going to come with collaborations. Can you drop us a little alpha? Do you got anybody? Can you give us like a hint? I mean, does it what kind of project does it involve? Anything?
So we have got one coming up with you guys, right? We have...
All right, I wasn't gonna say anything, but all right. So we got some. We can announce the KryptoNurd Upside Finance partnership here. We might even throw some citrus action in there.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So we'll get Gil with some spectacles and a headset on.
Yeah, and a microphone. But the rest of them, we are probably not yet ready to announce because we need to make sure that the other project is in line with the theme of it. And then, once like both the projects are ready, like us and them,
Sure.
then we would be willing to then it would be a nice time to announce, right?
Okay. Got it. Now, we've obviously had lots of conversations, most of them off camera, but some of the stuff that we've talked about, we could probably sneak a little bit of that stuff in here. Maybe time frame for us. Can you give us a sneak peek? Let's be strategic about this. Maybe by the end of the year. It's a little more than 6 months away, right? What can you tell us about what you anticipate happening in the next 6 months?
Crickets. So, I guess.
It's tough to kind of manage what things we can say and what we can't say. But I think by end of year we'll definitely have a mainnet launch plus NFTs plus some sort of gamified staking as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's about
yeah,
all the details I can say.
Okay.
well, the point is to get more money in the Algorand space. So think think big,
All right.
like think big
I
money. Like how
we
can
we
you
want to
have
we
like
want to
a
bring in outside funds for sure. Too many projects,
yeah,
are thinking about like how do we just almost like cannibalize each other. And there's only so much funds to go around in the Algorand ecosystem right now. If we just kind of keep swirling around our own funds, it just keeps getting
yeah,
rotated around. We need to bring in we need that new money. Y'all got some of that new
yeah,
money? Let's bring
yeah.
that in.
And
And I
like especially sorry, so especially from certain blockchains that um, they mean because they stall all the time. Some of
yeah.
those.
Yeah, yeah. Some of those projects have migrated over as well. Yeah. So we are green because we've been always up and we're carbon negative, not because we go periodically dark. So I think that's good. All right. All right. So we've talked about the two different tokens. We talked about governance. We talked about sort of the booster R program. We've talked about Gil. Do we miss anything substantial here?
Mm, no, I think that covers majority of the
Yeah.
public information, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
A few things. So I know just historically, let's back up just a little bit because people may see this video and a few other things. You put out a few screen caps from some other conversations I think we've had, or Mr. Blue Sky, you've had a few conversations, and they may think, oh, these guys are they kind of come out of the woodwork. They kind of overnight they just slapped us together, but you guys have done a lot in a reasonable amount of time. And you said, how long ago did you meet for that hackathon?
That was like
Cool.
almost 10 months ago, more than almost a year ago, I think.
Almost a year ago. So in a
Yeah.
in a year, you guys have come together, put together something that was pretty cool just for the hackathon, right? Those things are always kind of a slapdash, kind of a
Yeah.
like a rush.
Yeah.
And then to go from that to this, talk to me about like putting together a project in such a short time frame to putting together a real project that you're bringing on mainnet in the next 6 months. Like what's the difference between having like a short little contest sprint versus having a real project with real expectations, real people looking at you for investments, and coming to the table with, as we said, think big. That's a different ball game. What's the difference for you?
I think the difference is actually like in a hackathon, right? Because it's so short-lived, the product is as finished,
Mm-hmm.
and we can a bit we can twist things, we can exaggerate sometimes
Mm-hmm.
when we're pitching. But when you're working on a real project that for an extended period of time, you actually have to execute on all the points that you have set out to you publicly release to the community.
Yeah.
And that's why these things takes like launching on mainnet takes like 6 months because we have
Mm-hmm.
to be like really careful about every line of code that we write, um, and the front end integrations and all the partnerships. So it's slower, but it also makes everything more methodical. It's much more targeted,
Yeah,
I
and
would
the,
say.
the
And
the devil's in the details, huh? Like you
yeah,
like
Yeah,
hackathon, like you could just throw you make it look good. You got the general idea, the big picture idea, and some functionality.
yeah,
But when you do this, you got to make sure, like, oh shoot, okay, this extra page here, all the links need to work. What are the
yeah,
legalities? What marketing do I have to do? Oh man, do we have to
yeah,
payroll anybody? Is this like insurance? Like just the real world problems you have.
yeah.
It's a
yeah,
different
And
ballgame, huh?
it also helped that we won some prizes. Like we won like a prize in the hackathon. We did the Algorand Accelerator, and then we had some money from that. So it definitely helped us stay afloat. And I think like resilience is a huge part of that because most projects or most people would give up after they have not had some success for just a few months. But
Mm-hmm.
I think like resilience plays a huge role in just having these ideas transform into real projects and getting that investment.
Yeah, I think so. It's very easy to start a project like this. It's very difficult to bring it to market.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. I've talked to a lot of folks who had some really great ideas, but lacked the ability and the discipline to work on it day after day after day for the better part of a year to get it to the point where, you know, it's feasible now. Like, this is going to happen. You guys are so close. Right? You're like, the finish line is within sight. You're talking to guys like me who, you know, we're getting you prepped up for, you know, right, for, we got to get you know, your marketing all ready. We got to get you, you know, ready for the public. We got to fine tune a bunch of these things. It's getting exciting. And, you know, you've got, you know, a cool product to come. You got some really cool ideas. I think the entire community is going to look to see, like, okay, how do these NFTs play out? How do these two different tokens play out? And it's complicated enough where they're going to be interested, but not overly complicated where people are going to freak out and be like, nah, I give up. It's, in my opinion, I think it's the best of both worlds there, where it's simple enough, but it's also just enough engaging. So I'll be happy to watch this.
So in the next couple of weeks, we would be announcing some big news, I guess, like some investment news.
Oh, see, I knew you had some alpha in there somewhere. I knew it. All right, so a couple of weeks, some investment news. I like it. All right, so this is going to air probably on, it might actually be July 1st. I think. I think is when we're going to get this video posted. So we'll see. You know, somewhere around mid-July, we'll have to have you back on the show so that we can get an update there. And see what's going on and you know, see what that was and if that news came to fruition and then what the next step is. So we want to be part of the journey along with you. And that's one of the great things when we watch a project, when somebody joins your Discord, Telegram, follows you on Twitter, they're not just saying like, hey, I'm interested in following this project. They don't even have money invested in you yet, right? They just want your success. And when you share your ideas and your milestones and people get on board with you, it's all of a sudden your success is their success. And it's not just, it's our success. Like, we are rooting for you. And every time you find success and we retweet something, like, I feel validated every time I retweet one of your milestones or one of your goofy, you know, if we've got some memes or something like that, because we're all vested in your success. So I think that's special. So kudos to you guys for working hard for the last 10 months, for pulling it together. I know that there's some really cool things happening in the next 2 weeks. I wish I could spill the beans. You guys have been great, but I can tell the audience that we'll have you back on in 2, maybe 3 weeks, and we'll give everybody the update they deserve. In the meantime, they should just follow you. I'll put the links in for social media profiles and all the normal things here. Before we sign off, anything else you think the community needs to know or hear from, and you know, any parting words?
Not from me, Nishan. Do you have anything?
That was anticlimactic.
Follow us on Twitter and join our Discord so that you have all these opportunities to gain rewards tokens. And there's not much to say, honestly. Just
basically, the more you engage, the luckier you get with lotteries. That's what we can say.
All right, I like it. We'll end with that. So the more activity you have, the more chances you have to win.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for coming on the channel. Stick with me after the break, and we'll catch up just a little bit. Everyone else, cheers. Stay safe out there.
Awesome.